Hey everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel, Tara Talks Books, where we talk everything bookish. So I have 10 books that will give you the summer vibes. I do have the majority of them are romances, but I do have a couple of mystery thrillers and then as well as some fictions. So if you want to see what books give me the summer vibes, just keep watching. The first book is The Royals Next Door by Karina Halley. This one is set on an island, a very small island, and it is set during the summer. The main character, Piper, is a teacher, and it begins with her last day of school, and so it's her summer break. And the Royals end up moving next door to her, and it kind of goes from there. It is a bodyguard romance, so it's between her and the bodyguard. So they end up having a fun meet cute where she's driving up to her street trying to get to her house, and he stops her and he's like, no, you can't go past this. And she's like, no, I live there. And it's this whole little meet cute, and it goes from there. I really love this story. It does have good mental health representation. The romance is adorable, and it definitely, like I said, it's on a small island that is very beachy. So I definitely think this one has all the summer vibes. The next one I have is A Ship of Bones and Teeth, which is also by Karina Halley. So this is a Little Mermaid retelling with aspects of Pirates of the Caribbean. It is a dark, fantasy romance, and this follows Princess Marin. And so Princess Marin sold her soul to the Sea Witch, giving up her life underwater for the love of Prince Eric on land. But Eric is a cruel prince, and Marin wants to reverse the spell. An opportunity for her escape presents itself when her and Eric are taken captive by pirates. So Captain Ramsey Bones Bautista has a reputation of leading a haunted crew that take no prisoners, nobody ever survives when they are taken captive. However, Ramsey and Marin have a score to settle with this sea witch, so they have to kind of team up to settle the score with the Sea Witch, and it goes from there. So this is obviously set on the high seas. It is very much on the water. So I feel like this one really gives you that summer vibes, but in a darker sense, because it is a dark fantasy, but it's set on the water and it's pirates. So I really enjoyed this one. The next one I have is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. So this one is a small town romance, and it's it's like a small fishing town. So Piper ends up getting into some trouble in the city, and this isn't her first time getting in trouble, and so her stepdad ends up sending her to the small fishing town where her dad was from. Her and Brendan, who is a fisherman in this town, get off on the wrong foot because he just thinks she's a spoiled rich girl, but he soon realizes there is more to her, and it goes from there. This is Opposites Attract. It is set in a beach town. It is very reminiscent of I think her character is based a little bit off the character from Schitt's Creek, Alexis. And so it is very a rich girl in a small town, but there's obviously more depth to her. And I really did enjoy this one. Definitely check it out. It does have those summer vibes, and it is set, like I said, in this fishing town right on the beach, and they're kind of reopening her dad's bar, her and her sister. So it is a good one. Definitely one to check out during the summer. The next one I have is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So this one is a friends to lovers romance. Poppy and Alex, they do summer trips together, and they have been doing them together since college. So one trip, though, changes things, and they don't talk for a couple of years until Poppy decides to ask Alex to do one last vacation to kind of patch things up and restore their friendship. And it goes from there. It does have dual timeline going from past to present, and it does show the different vacation spots where they went to and they traveled to, which I thought was really fun and a unique aspect to it. I loved Poppy and Alex. I liked hearing again about their vacation and their friendship. This is definitely such a fun one because it obviously revolves predominantly around vacation. So I figured that's a great summer one to read and a cute romance. The next one I have is Float Plan by Trish Dollar. This one is definitely more of an emotional summer romance. So this does follow Anna, and she actually lost her fiance to suicide. And so she's dealing obviously with that grief. And they were supposed to take a trip, like a boating trip around the world. And so she decides to kind of like get herself out of this grief and, you know, the stuff that she's been dealing with since his death, that she's going to go and she's going to do it on her own and take the boat that they bought, and she's going to go do it. Well, she soon realizes that it is too much for one person and she is ill-equipped. And so she does try and find someone to help her go on this journey. So she ends up hiring Keen, and Keen kind of is having his own, like, he has his own loss. I believe he's like an amputee, and he's dealing with that idea of like he's not whole anymore. And he's dealing kind of with that because it did come from an accident, and he's feeling like he's not enough because he used to be like a fisherman or a guide or something, and like he kind of can't do that job anymore. So he does help her go on this journey, this sailing journey, because he knows what he's doing. And so it is kind of both of them dealing with their own sort of grief and loss in different ways, and then them coming together as a romance. It really is lovely, and they do go to a lot of different destinations on the water, and it is all aboard the boat, and they are sailing. So you get that that aspect, that ocean sense of it too, where they're on the water. And so it is very summery, but it is summery emotional. So definitely know that going in, but I really did enjoy this one. It was a beautiful story. So the next one that kind of reminds me of like summer is An Earl to Remember by Stacy Reid. And so this is actually the second book in Stacy Reid's Unforgettable Love series. However, it can be read as a standalone. This actually follows Georgiana, and she ends up getting a job on the Earl of Stannis's like yacht, and as like a chef for like, I think it's like a multi-day party. Well, she ends up getting like fired or let go on the first day because of a miscommunication. And the Earl of Stannis, like, he has a reputation for being a rake and is rumored to be like charming and handsome. And anyways, so the misunderstanding occurs because she walks into his room, and she's like laying out the stuff for like food, basically, because she's the chef. And he mistakes her as not that. And they like kiss, and it goes from there. And his mistress is angry about that and ends up pushing him overboard. And so he gets amnesia and washes up ashore on this like beach town that she lives in, and to kind of get her revenge or her money back, basically, from him. And so she ends up putting him to work on the crumbling estate that she lives on because her parents have passed away and she needs support. She has her two sisters, which is why she had the job. And so she just feels wronged by him because he let her go for no fault of her own. And so she's like, I'm going to take advantage of this situation, because he ends up like remembering her and saying like, oh no, I remember you. And she's like, he's my husband. So she doesn't get her reputation ruined. And obviously he is not her husband, and they kind of have to live together. So there's some amnesia, there's forced proximity. It definitely is so fun. I love seeing like Georgiana's passion for cooking, as well as I adored like the sister relationship and how like Daniel like adored them. It was such swoon-worthy moments. And then it was also like this tension because at any moment he could remember who he is. And it definitely just gives me the summer vibes. First of all, look at this cover. That just reminds me of summer. And then, of course, because it's on the yacht and he gets pushed off and he washes ashore, it just kind of reminds me of summer in that sense. So definitely check this one out. It is fun. It is lighthearted. And I really, really enjoyed it. So the next couple are some mystery/thrillers. The first one is Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. This one is a mystery where she like goes on a boat, and her friend like go on a boat. They're on vacation, and then they sail to this island, and then multiple people come and sail to the island too, and you kind of don't know what's happening. Somebody ends up dead, and it goes from there. This was definitely an interesting mystery. I did like the isolated, creepy setting of the island, and like there's no way to get off unless you leave on the boat, but then you can't leave everybody. And I really did enjoy that aspect. That was a really good part of it. And like, it definitely has like that beachy sense because they're on vacation and they're on this island, they're on the boat, there's like swimming, and they're kind of like hanging out on the beach. And it goes a little upside down because again, somebody ends up dead, and it's like, who done it? We're on this island. And it goes from there. I definitely enjoyed this. Definitely good, quick, fast-paced summer read. The next like mystery thriller that I have is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. This is actually a recent read for me, and I chose this one because it's set at a summer camp, so it definitely has that summer feel. So this follows Emma Davis, and she was at a summer camp like 15 years ago, and she watched as her like 3 cabin mates left, but she was told like her cabin mate said, don't come with me, you're too young for this. And they end up going missing. Nobody ever finds them, so they want to reopen the camp to people as like for this one last summer. So they invite back Emma as like a painting counselor, and she kind of sees it as an opportunity to find closure of what happened. But then 3 other like campers end up go missing, and of course they think that it's her that did it, and she's trying to figure out, prior to them going missing, she's trying to figure out what happened to the 3 girls before, and they get these clues, and there's obviously things that happen, and she's trying to like discover, what happened to them. And then of course these other 3 girls go missing, and they blame it obviously on her, and it goes from there. I did think that this was an enjoyable read, and definitely one that is very like summery, because there's obviously swimming at the camp, and they're on the lake, and they're at summer camp, so they have like the summer camp activities. I did really enjoy that aspect of it, and it definitely is a good one to read during the summer months. And then the last 2 I have are just some like general fiction ones. One is like a fantasy, and one is a historical fiction. And the fantasy I have is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Obviously, this one is very summery simply because where the setting is at. They are literally on the sea. So it's definitely it's written like it's very bright, and it's like... So this is just like a heartfelt, heartwarming, lighthearted book, which I think is like perfect for summer. So this follows Linus Baker, and he is part of like the department in charge of magical youth. And he kind of goes to different, like, it's almost like a foster care or, foster, like houses for magical youth. And he goes and he makes sure that they're, guidelines are being kept up and they're doing what they need to. And then he finally gets sent to the one in the Cerulean Sea. And that one is he's told basically that houses like children or youth that are the most dangerous to society. And so it goes from there. He goes and he makes sure, that they're being treated correctly and that everything is good. And, they're following guidelines and all of that, because that is his job. But it becomes so much more. The children in this book absolutely make it. I love their personalities as well as the interactions that they have with the adults in this book. And I really love Linus and seeing him grow as a character, but then as well as the children's caretaker Arthur is also obviously a very big part of this book, and I loved it. It's just so heartwarming and beautiful, and it's obviously set in the sea, and so it's just such a lovely read to read during summer. especially if you just need something to like, lift your spirits. The last one I have is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is obviously set in Malibu, California, which is right on the beach. This follows 4 famous siblings. They throw like an epic party to celebrate the end of summer, but over the course of 24 hours, their lives change forever. And I don't want to say much more than that. It is a very good book. I feel like a lot of people didn't enjoy this one, but I loved this book. It really delves deeper into like family drama and family cycles and deciding how you want to change things. So obviously it's set at the backdrop of Malibu, and it's very, beautiful. It's I think it's like 1983. So it's technically considered historical, and it goes from past to present, seeing the children, and it really follows them as they grow up. And again, it's that setting of Malibu. One's a famous model, one's like a famous surfer, and the other one is like a famous photographer. So they all go out surfing every morning, and you get that like dynamic on the beach between them. And it's just a lovely historical fiction. If you enjoy historical fictions, I definitely say check this one out. It's a good one to get like that summer feel. So those are the 10 books I have that give me the summer vibes. Definitely check them out if you enjoy, romance, but as well as some mystery and some fiction in there as well. Let me know if you've read any of these in the comments below. And if you don't feel like commenting anything, will you leave like a beach emoji or a sun emoji, something that represents summer to you, in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you'd like to. Bye.